Hi there. I've been getting a lot of questions about how competitive the market is. I figured that I would do a case study per week just to kind of look at a specific house, how many offers, how far it went over, what neighborhood it's in, just to give people kind of an idea of what things are looking like. So the first one that I want to look at is in Argay Terrace. We I had clients write on this a couple weeks ago, and we were the top offer until the very last minute, which is super common right now too. I'll have a lot of buyers ask me, "How competitive do you think it's going to be? What do you think it's going to go for?" And my answer is always, "I don't know until the very last minute, until everyone has submitted offers." It's really everyone waits till the last minute so that their offers aren't shopped around, including myself. And it's also dependent on the listing agent and how much they communicate with the buyer's agent. Some agents will give you a lot of information about where offers are at and how competitive it is, and others will give you very little information. So you kind of have to guess based on how many offers in. So this is the house we're going to be talking about today. The address is 3333 Northeast 135th Avenue. It was a mid-century in Argay Terrace. For those that don't know or aren't familiar with Argay Terrace, let me just quickly pull up a map for you. The boundaries of Argay Terrace are the Columbia River is north, northeast 122nd is west, 84th is south, or 84, Highway 84, I should say, is south, and then 148th is east. So it's this cute little neighborhood with tons of mid-centuries, larger lots. You have beautiful views. It's kind of an older, established area, but really nice homes. So this is the home that we offered on. A lot of it was still original or needed to be updated, but it had a ton of space and the basement was awesome. It was actually featured on Zillow Gone Wild, which is an Instagram account, because of this beer collection in the basement, which was pretty cool. And then it also had a pool, which is pretty rare for Portland, just because of our weather. It doesn't necessarily allow for pools, more than, like, 3 or 4 months out of the year, but that's changing, and people are wanting pools now that weather is getting a little bit warmer. So you can kinda see it's a huge lot. I think it was, like, 0.3 acres and, really good bones. It was built in '65, yeah, 0.34 acres, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, a little under 3,300 square feet. So if we look at Argay Terrace, minimum sold price, and this is the last year, is 400,000. Average sold price is 542,000. Median 531. Maximum is 875. And then if we look at market stats, we can see kind of the same information. Conventional loans have been the dominant type of financing, but it's really in that like 5 to 600 average price point. So before we offered on this one, I also ran a comparative market analysis to just see what homes in the area are going for, because we wanted to be super competitive, but we also wanted to be cognizant of any sort of appraisal gap. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. So in this CMA, what we did is looked at comps that are similar bedroom, bathroom count, similar square footage. And then I really wanted to get an idea of what was in this like 6 to 700 price point, just because I knew it was going to be pretty competitive. So you can see here, this seemed to be like the kind of top that the market would allow, but this one got really competitive. So, um, essentially what happened with this RA Terrace Mid-Century is 20 offers. Um, It was listed originally at, I think, 619. Yeah, 619, 800. We went in strong. We waived repairs. So we said we'd take it as is. And in Oregon, as is doesn't mean that you're not going to do inspections. You still do inspections and look and do your due diligence and figure out how much repairs are going to cost. But you're basically saying you aren't going to ask for any repairs or credits, regardless of what comes up in the inspection report. We also had an appraisal gap coverage, and that basically means that if the house appraises for less than what we are offering, we will come up with a specific amount of cash to cover that difference because the bank won't loan on a home for more if it appraises for less than what you offer. So as an example with this one was listed at, let's just call it 620. Say you offer 700,000 and it appraises for 650. Well, the bank's only going to loan on a 650 house. It's not going to loan on a $700,000 house because if for some reason you defaulted on your loan, they wouldn't be able to recoup that money. They wouldn't be able to sell the house for 700,000. The appraiser is saying that the house would only sell for 650. So then the buyer needs to come up with $50,000 in cash to cover that difference, or there needs to be a renegotiation at that point where the seller says, okay, we'll lower the price to 650, or hey, we'll lower the price to 675, and you guys need to come up with an additional $25,000 in cash. That's kind of what the appraisal gap coverage looks like. So in this instance, the winning offer came in at the very last moment. Um, it was so this house listed for 620, it came in at 805, 20 other offers. And they waived appraisal, meaning they knew it wasn't going to appraise most likely for 805, and they would cover that difference with cash. They also said that they would take the house as is. They had a fairly fast close, and I believe their down payment was about 50%, which is a really healthy down payment. So what ended up happening was they did inspections. There was a cesspool that was found. There was a shower that leaked from the top floor to the bottom floor because it hadn't been used in many years. And radon levels were really high. And radon is a naturally occurring gas that can cause lung cancer. So it's something that you want to get mitigated. The mitigation systems for radon are about $2,000 usually. So, and oh, this was the big part too. They offered 805, it appraised at 705. So these sellers then had this list of repairs and also $100,000 that they had to bring in cash to cover that difference between 705 and 805. So they went back to the sellers and asked for a price reduction to 780, which is what it eventually sold for. And that worked for these sellers because it was still higher than any of the other offers that were second and third place. So, anyways, interesting case study. This is Argay Terrace, probably one of the higher sales that that neighborhood has seen. Um, and a good lesson too that people are really clamoring for those larger lots, the pools, and the mid centuries. I hope that was helpful. Thanks.